Yeah, hello. Thanks for having me. And previous two speakers covered, quite interesting details about the IT process. So what I would like to do is, I would like to tell you about how you can use it in your industry, specifically to, you might have a smaller scale industry, or you might have a manufacturing industry. So all these things apply. So let me quickly share my screen. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen. So, so basically, the topic is what can it do for you? First of all, let's understand IT. Previous speakers have already covered this, but I would like to stress upon the data part of it. So, if you take this from Wikipedia, it says IT is the use of computers to store, retrieve, transmit, and manipulate data or information. So basically, IT helps us make sense of relevant data in a very crude sense. And this data can be your data within your organization and data in your industry. But for these speak, for to keep it small, I'll only talk about data in your own company. So the next question then comes in: what kind of data are we talking about, and how does it help? So to understand, just a sec. I'll pause this. Yeah. To understand the kind of data we're talking about, we need to first understand the kind of systems that will these data will power. So by understanding these systems, we would understand both the data and how that data can help us. So these systems comes under the classification of information systems, but let's leave all that complexity and let's see the three heads that can be described in. So the first is transactional processing systems. Second is decision support systems and decision automated automation systems. So let's talk about transactions processing system. So basically, these are your everyday transactions in your company. And when I mean transactions, it's not only the monetary transaction. It can be all your data point in the company. So for example, it can be your attendance data, your inventory data, obviously your purchase data, and all the other things. So all the transactions, all the activities that take part in your system, in your company, that would be part of all these transaction processing systems. So that is the input data for these systems, and these systems you might have seen as sales order entry or airline reservations or payroll management, employee records, manufacturing, warranty claims, shipping. So all these comes under your transaction systems. So these are the advantages of why you should have transaction processing systems is you have a real-time processing available anytime you want to know, what is your inventory like, and should I be placing any order? What if the new order comes? Would I have enough stock with me? So it answers all those questions real time. Then there are things like, it helps you reduce processing time, lead time, order cycle time, uh, obviously the reduction in inventory, and it helps you lower your ordering costs. It helps increase productivity and customer satisfaction. So see, basically all these things are kind of technical, but the idea is any system that is critical to you in your company, be it across your value chain or be it in your CSFs, that is critical success factors, you can identify them and start measuring them. So let's say you have a sales driven company, you can start measuring sales calls. Your sales representative might be doing 20 calls per day. So how much time are they spending each call? What amount of calls did do in the first half, the amount of calls did do in second half. So as soon as you start measuring these transactions, that is the first step towards improving that process. And how that gets improved comes down to how systems are designed and how management sees value out of that data. So second kind of systems are known as decision support systems. So these are more interactive, and it uses all these information and in transactions and give you sort of numbers that you can judge upon. So let's say you have a sales figure of, you have your monthly sales figure, and based on that, you can judge what kind of sales are you expecting next month, and what kind of calls are you expecting next month, and should you hire a new guy? Should you be, doing new hirings, or should you be reducing your manpower? So all those kind of decisions, if you have proper system in place, that will give you data that will help the management decide what decision to take. So it can be very generic. So you can have all these things in an Excel, and even having this in an Excel help gets you there, at least the first step, which you can look upon and derive data and then take those decisions. So another form is a customized decision support system, wherein you have identified a process that is critical to your company and your company's success. If it's a sales driven organization, that could be the sale leads and all the calls that you're doing and the follow-ups and all. So if you have a customized system based on that, that can help you decide and focus on a very particular activity and how that activity can be further optimized. Then there are the third kind systems wherein you are automating some sort of decisions. So it can be you want to keep a minimum stock inventory at a time, or uh, you want to, let's say, apply in stock market when a particular hit rate comes in. So basically you want something to happen based on some triggers, and that is also powered by these kind of systems, which are called decision automation systems. If you see safety stock, this is one of those applications wherein you would always keep a threshold level of your safety stock, so that you can always predict if a next order comes in, you have enough inventory to actually make that decisions. Previously, management people used to guess these. Only very big companies could afford ERPs like 10 years back. But right now, it's much more accessible, and even small manufacturing firms are doing it. And that helps them, compete at the biggest level, and also helps them, just do better in business. So it takes all the guesswork out, so to speak. Again, these decision automation systems can also be self-learning and AI driven. There's an application that is out there. I think BBC uses this in London, and they have this study going on wherein their initial, even I think you've seen even in our COVID app that Indian government has made, there's a self-diagnosis thing wherein if you tell them the kind of symptoms you have, it will try to come to a decision. And so these are the kind of systems wherein if you think in your company's context, you could want to, let's say, you know trigger a buyout, or stock on new inventory, or do a price cut based on certain triggers in the market and based on your own triggers. So these kind of systems then help there. So, and basically then IT and IS, the information system, and if we want to really summarize this, it's a bad summary, but it's a very simple summary. But it lets you keep tabs on your routine activities and gives you a competitive edge, wherein all those things that management people used to even do guess, or from their own experience and all. Now they have actual data to back that up and to drive better decisions. So yeah, basically that is the summary of it. So thank you for having me, and if there are any questions, you can follow up at the end.